This next series, instead of being belly down on the cylinder, we're belly up. And we're using a stool so that the spinal joints in the low spine are not at any risk. So having the feet elevated on this 9-inch stool, make sure that we don't have any hyperextension occur down in the low lumbar. As you notice, her elbow is on the floor, both on the right and left side. Hands are on her abdomen. And then I look to see that her neck is in its mid-range. If she was very, very stiff and could not go back and lie on the cylinder without her neck going into extension, I would get a folded towel and have her assigned to do this with a folded towel under her skull so that it would not put the cervical spine in hyperextension. But Kate doesn't have that problem, so we don't need the support of the additional folded towel. Now we'll begin the exercise. So everything's relaxed at this point, and as soon as the hands that are on the abdomen come toward one another, the elbows will have left the floor. When this happens, her muscles in her spinal column are awakened to not fall left or right, and then if she is successful at balancing here, then we take one foot off the stool and we start very carefully by just elevating the heel. The toe is still touching. If she can do that well, then she would then continue to lift the foot so it's 1 inch off the stool, so that when the hands have joined and she's stable here, then we would take it to the next level. If she struggled here and her elbows continually had to touch the floor in order to maintain balance, she would be sent home to improve this level of her ability to do the exercise. And we all have our different levels of starting, and for some, this is where they need to start, of just trying to balance. They have their their elbow very close to the floor, so it can be just millimeters away, and she can feel safe that she's not going to fall off the cylinder. And she doesn't have far to fall if she fell. As we begin the next level, her heel would lift off the stool, but her toe would stay on. And she'd feel that this unweighting of this foot closest to the camera was a higher level than when the whole foot was flat. If she's successful at this, then she lifts the foot 1 inch. And if she's successful at this level, she would allow this foot to go out. Many people have to go home and practice just lifting the foot partially for a week before they can advance to lifting the foot fully. And if she's able to do this and not wobble, then she would apply the same to the opposite foot. And as she's demonstrating that, I want to reiterate the point that if it's necessary to have the elbows touch, then we stay at that level until that's mastered and can be done for at least 30 seconds before taking it up to a higher level. The level that comes next is that both foot and opposite arm would move. So in this case, the right foot will start to lift, and as it starts to move out, the left arm goes up to about 90 degrees at the shoulder with no shrugging of the shoulder up toward the earlobe. Keep it away from the earlobe. Then it returns, and the other side gets ready for as little, if any, wobbling as possible. And then this is built so that as 30 seconds become easy, then it's 45, 60, and possibly 2 minutes. All the while working on improving the endurance of her spinal muscles. especially effective for cervical dysfunction when the whole spine needs to be supported. It's also good for both these cylinder exercises, prone and supine, for lumbar and cervical combinations if both areas are pain generators.